All right, folks, we are back into the action from the break on the hottest show on the streets, the number one forum for Crimson Tide football news on a Friday. In my own words, ending your bye week correctly. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciating everybody for calling in, chatting in, donating super chats. You guys have been fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic here on a Friday. As always, I give a shout out to my man John Ivory in the production studio doing his thing as he does each and every time. But before we dive into the final topic of conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That is TDAwear.com. So let us be your shop. Let us be your plug here for all things Alabama football apparel. We got the I Love Hearing Touchdown Alabama shirts, the We Want Football shirts, Let Them Play shirts, hoodies of all kinds. So if you want Bama gear, real dope Bama gear, you go to TDAwear.com. Do your shopping, TDAwear.com. Showing that support for Nick Saban, the Alabama Crimson Tide, student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But time for us to show some love to this Alabama offensive line. The big boys up front. And a lot of times, the big guys, they don't get as much love as they should get. We're always so concerned about the skill positions, the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs, the linebackers, the cornerbacks, the safeties. We're always showing love to the skill guys, but very rarely do we show that appreciation toward the offensive line. But without those guys up front, nothing really gets done without those guys. I remember using this analogy once before. When you talk about s'mores, people love the chocolate and the marshmallow, but it's the graham crackers that hold that junk together. Like, it's the graham crackers that keep that thing what it is. So the offensive line, basically the graham crackers. So we're going to show some love to the graham crackers of the offensive line on this segment because these guys have played well. I mean, from left tackle to right tackle, Alex Leatherwood, Deontay Brown, Landon Dickerson, Emil Ekiyor Jr., Evan Neal, they have all played outstanding this season. And what's crazy is, 4 of the 5 guys were starters last year. And when Alabama graduated Jedrick Wills to the NFL draft, the thought was, okay, who replaces him at right tackle? So going into the offseason, a lot of people thought that maybe, Emil Ekiyor would play right tackle, or Tommy Brown would play right tackle, or someone else would play right tackle. But as we got down the scope here, Alabama took Evan Neal and moved him to right tackle, which was the right move. It was the right move, the former 5-star. 6'7", 360 pounds, 355 pounds now. Very athletic, quick, nimble feet, strong hands, long arms. That was the right move. Putting Evan Neal at right tackle, and he's played well. So then that opened up a spot at right guard since Alabama chose to move Deontay Brown to left guard. And Pierce Quick was in the conversation for right guard. There were a couple of others in the mix as well. Darian Dalcourt was in there. Chris Owens was in there. But Emil Ekiyor Jr. rose to the occasion, and he took the spot at right guard. And what a season he's had. I mean, has grown before our very eyes. The young man at 6'3", 324 pounds. His father actually played ball in the NFL. So it's been fantastic watching the growth of Ekiyor. With Alabama's offensive line, the Tide is first in the SEC in both scoring offense and total offense. Scoring offense getting 47.2 points per game. Total offense 555.2 yards per game. The Crimson Tide first in the country in scoring offense, 47.2 points per game. Third in the country in total offense. And then the balance that Alabama's been able to create in the run and pass game. Mac Jones averaging 366 pass yards per game. Najee Harris averaging 119 rush yards per game. Jones has only been sacked 8 times at the quarterback position all season. So you see the balance here that Alabama's offensive line has been able to provide here. Going back to Najee Harris this season, 714 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns. He leads the country and leads the SEC in rushing touchdowns, had a whale of a performance against Ole Miss. I mean, the offensive line helped him get a career high 23 carries for 206 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns. And throughout the season, no matter which defense that Mac Jones faces, this front line has allowed him to total, at least 400 yards passing through 3 straight games. When you look at Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and then Georgia. He could have had 400-plus yards against Tennessee. Unfortunately, Coach Saban pulled him out toward the end of the game where he was at 387 yards because he wanted to get some reps there for one Bryce Young. But offensive line's been fantastic. They've been strong. They've been stellar. The one issue they've had has been the pre-snap penalties. That's got to get better. They've dealt with some false starts, whether it's been Deontay Brown or Alex Leatherwood. Evan Neal's been victimized a couple of times, but that's been probably the only bugaboo, for that group is the pre-snap false start penalties. More times than not, they have been strong there up front. Kyle Flood has done a great job. Kyle Flood has done an outstanding job. Going from, last year where Alabama was more so of that finesse offensive line, it didn't get more physical until the LSU game down toward the remainder of the 2019 season. This season, they've been way more physical. A lot of that you can gear toward the play of Landon Dickerson at center. He's been the anchor of that group. He's been the nasty of that group. He's been the physicality, the toughness of that group. There was one play against Ole Miss, or maybe it was Tennessee if I'm not mistaken, that someone ripped Landon Dickerson's helmet off, and he's still blocking the guy 5 yards down the field. I mean, somebody ripped Landon Dickerson's helmet completely off, and that guy is still a bulldog just blocking the guy 10 to 20 yards downfield. So you see more of the physicality that Alabama's offensive line has played with this season. This is a group that is definitely now in line for that Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in the country. Very proud of the way this group has played this season, creating that balance there offensively for the Tide. But as always, Bama fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your Crimson Tide. Very simple and easy to access this. You can get this by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You can get it from your iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you've got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you right here on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, Overcast.fm, TuneIn Radio, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Monday to continue the conversation that is Bama football to start LSU week. Also, Tide Nation, don't forget you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. Also, you can cop that 4-finger bling necklace courtesy of WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That's WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get you that 4-finger bling necklace. That link will be in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, the weekend is here, but still, do those things only legitimately now to not be bored. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy your weekend. Until next time, folks, spit in my own words. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.